How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Wolf, and welcome back to another Guild Wars 2 build guide. This is going to be on my Dagger one-shot roaming thief. This is what I'm playing in structured PvP at the moment, or SPVP. They are running a conquest game mode right now. They were running deathmatch last weekend, and I was running a variation of this setup in deathmatch, and I will show you that one as well. That setup is definitely a lot weirder, but it's also a lot of fun. So I've been having a grand old time with this. Is it the best build? Not really, no. But it is a home-crafted build that is a whole lot of fun to play. So I would recommend playing it in either very low ranks or normals. So I'm gonna also make videos eventually on the meta builds, but I have more fun crafting my own stuff and rolling people with that. So this is going to excel at one-shotting these squishy targets. So if there is a squishy meta at any point, do feel free to revisit this build. I've been having a whole lot of fun just one-tapping people with a very simple combo. This also plays like a rogue in World of Warcraft, so any of you refugees coming over from there after all the Blizzard drama, this is going to play like a rogue and you will fit right at home. And so, the only other thing for me to say is that there's also going to be a gameplay video following this that should be the exact same day, like 10 minutes later. There should be a link to that in the description. It might be on a card, it probably won't be, because I have a lot of stuff to do. But yeah, it should be in the description, and it showcased how to play the build pretty much perfectly. So with that being said, let me explain this setup to you. So weaponry wise, we're running in Dagger and shortbow. Shortbow is literally used just for shortbow 5 to be able to teleport around, because it lets you get to places a whole lot quicker. Allows you to +1 and decap that much faster. You can combine this with shadow step and look at how much distance you covered, right? And then you can create even stupider things where you can shadow step and then infiltrators step and then shadow step back to like bait someone. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it to escape, but realistically I only really use it for the 5. You can use some of the other stuff. I think you can blast with the cluster bomb here, so if someone puts down a smoke you can blast that and that sort of stuff. Or if you want to put a pistol on the side here, you can use pistol with this as well as a secondary if you want to. I don't personally, because I like using cloak and dagger. But if you want to use a pistol secondary, you can put that down and then blast it with cluster bomb. But yeah, so your main like kill rotation for this setup is actually quite simple. We're going to be using Basilisk Venom with Steel into backstab, and then a full damage like combo. And then we will spam Heartseeker. Heartseeker is a dagger spell that makes it so it does more damage the lower HP your target is. And this combo that I've been using is pretty much all guaranteed. They can dodge the second Heartseeker, but because of Basilisk Venom stunning them, you can do a whole shit ton of damage very, very easily. So we're generally going to be going for medium to light targets, so I'll show you on the medium target just what the damage looks like. Yeah, so that's what you can do to a squishy target. Pretty much all of that is guaranteed. Obviously, they can stun break, so you're going to have to track that sort of stuff. So that is your bread and butter sort of combo for killing people. You can, of course, use Cloak and Dagger to go back into stealth to get more backstabs. You can use the knives to cripple people and catch up to them. And you can use Death Blossom if you need to evade anything at any point. So, now that we've got our how to kill people covered and our weapon set covered, let me show you the actual meat of the build. So we are going to be going with a Valkyrie amulet, which gives us a nice bit of HP. Allows us to stay alive while we're trying to roll around and one-shot people. Yes, you might think, oh, why don't you play Berserker? Why don't you play Marauder? All this sort of stuff. You only really get 10% critical hit damage. It's really not worth it, and I'd rather have 9k health, especially considering everyone's playing bunker builds right now. It's just not worth it to run Berserker. And Marauder, I've just found, isn't really all that great, because you lose the ferocity, and the ferocity with the backstabs is where all of our damage comes from. Now, you're probably looking at this going, how the hell do you crit backstab with 5% crit chance? Well, the thing is we are running hidden killer, which makes it so that while stealthed, when you pop out of stealth, you have a 100% crit chance for 2 seconds, which applies in our whole kill combo. But because the Basilisk Venom lasts 1.5 seconds, so during that time, you have a 100% crit chance for the backstab, the opening combo, and the Heartseeker, provided you do it quick enough. So it has been quite exceptional. So then we're also running the Scholar Rune since we want to be as high HP as possible, which will synergize with our Executioner, which, or not Executioner, where was it? Was it Twin Fangs? Increase critical damage while your health above the threshold. Yeah. So Twin Fangs synergizes with the Scholar Rune. So basically, we want to be above 90% anyways. This is what we want to do while we're +1ing fights. We just want to pour it in, stab someone, and put them in the ground as fast as possible. So the sigils we're going to be running on the bow is going to be escape and energy, because you're only using the bow to get out of bad spots, and the energy will refill your endurance so you can dodge roll and get out of that pinch. The escape sigil will get rid of movement impairing effects, so you can break slows. I don't know if this breaks immobilize. I haven't tested that yet, but I found that to be very, very nice. And then on our daggers, we have exploitation and energy for when we swap back. I've been experimenting with making energy into something that does more damage. I'm not entirely sure, but exploitation is bonus damage when they're below 50% health. We want to just pop in a one-tap low HP people with Executioner, so it all comes together quite nicely. So that is our sort of default setup here. I don't really know what other thing you could run here. Honestly, I'm not sure. You could maybe run Assassin's Amulet if you wanted to, rather than Berserker, because Precision gives us bonus like crit damage. I mean, this could work, but you don't really need it, considering we have a 100% crit chance. The crit from all this is really not needed at all whatsoever. So that is our weaponry setup. Now into the build here. We are running Deadly Arts, Critical Strikes, and Shadow Arts. You could sub out one of these for Daredevil if you want to. I've just found everything in here is kind of pretty much required for the way that I'm playing it so far. The one I would suggest swapping out would be Shadow Arts if you go Daredevil, but then you lose Stealth. It's so finicky to swap things in Guild Wars 2 builds, but I'm sure you could find a spot if you wanted to fit Daredevil in here. But I've tried it, and I just prefer having the 1200 range Shadow Step on Steel rather than 600 from Daredevil Swipe. So, Deadly Arts, we're going 1-3-3, which is for power and additional power since we're wielding 2 daggers. Then we also want power and power well revealed. We are just stacking damage, obviously. And then we want Executioner from here. These other small nodes are just kind of meh, really. We just want Executioner for the damage bonus on the Heartseeker to make it kill people. And then flat damage. So, I mean, Deadly Arts could be changed if you want. Put Shadow Arts up here and change Deadly Arts into Daredevil. Might be better that way. I might try that, we'll see. Could have more sustain too, but the one-shot power does get lowered quite a bit because you lose 200 power plus 20% damage increase. So, who knows? There might be more staying power in the Daredevil setup though. Critical Strikes, we're going with Keen Observer for bonus crit damage. Then we have Twin Fangs for the critical hit damage as well, for backstabs and stuff. You have Fury whenever you hit someone below 90%, which is going to be all the time. Crit chance doesn't really matter, it's whatever. Then we have Ferocity based on precision. This is just the best one in the tree. The rest of them kind of suck. But, I mean, stealth skills, inflict vulnerability, and grant Fury. We don't need Fury, so Ferocity based on precision is fine. That's why I said the other amulet might be good, but I don't really want to buy it, to be honest with you. 10 gold, I got better things to do. But yeah, it doesn't really give you all that much. Like switching with the Berserker, you get 10%. So, yeah. If that really matters to you, you need that extra little bit of damage, then sure, but didn't really make a big difference to me. Best one in the tier. Then increased damage, critical damage against foes whose health is above the threshold. So that's going to give us more damage on backstabs when we're opening, if they're at 100%. And then Hidden Killer, I talked about before, the thing that puts the whole build together. Shadow Arts, this is what turns it into a rogue and allows you to play a very, very fun style, because you have access to gain stealth when you use a healing skill. We're running Shadow Refuge, but this is also going to give you even longer stealth. Now, stealing also grants you stealth, which is basically required for this setup. well, it's not required, but it really helps a lot. You can steal Cloak and Dagger if you want. If you play Daredevil, you can do the same thing. You can steal Cloak and Dagger instead. But that the tell for that it's gonna happen is exceptionally long, right? You teleport behind them, then you have to do an animation, and then you have to go for a backstab. They're just gonna about face you, and you're not gonna hit a backstab. So it's kind of shitty if you wanna do that route. But yeah, then we have stealth lasts longer when it's granted by your skills, and we can get stealth in 3 different ways here, and Cloak and Dagger, and steal. So that is just exceptional for us. And after completing a shadow step, you're healed. Nearby allies are also healed. This, I'm not too sure about this tier. I think flickering shadows might be better. Like strike damage taken is reduced while you're revealed. I'm not too sure about how much this is actually healing me, to be honest with you. But I have been doing top healing as a thief, and that's kind of scary to me. I don't know if I'm just playing in trash can tier. That is also a possibility, because I'm not ranked just yet. But yeah, so I might switch this to Flickering Shadows and just test it, see what feels better. But running with this currently. And then we have stealth attacks, siphon health if they hit, which obviously we're backstabbing all the time, so there's 500 healing. And then we have regenerate health and stealth, or health and initiative while in stealth. The rest of these are kind of shitty. Realistically, we're only here for the stealing grants you stealth. So yeah. Now, the one thing that's very nice. Actually, this is better than I gave it credit for because I'll be showing you why. The reason that those are so nice is because we're using Hide in Shadows with Shadow Refuge and Blinding Powder. I don't know why I said you could get stealth off of that, but you know. So, the thing that I learned that is very useful for Thief is that you can stack your stealth. So, if you put up Shadow Refuge, it'll keep stacking up 9 seconds, 12 seconds, 15 seconds, but then you can add even more. You use your Shadow Refuge and your Blinding Powder, you have 18 seconds of stealth. Now you can go wherever you want, do whatever you want, look for the perfect pick, the perfect angle, walk in, and stab him right in the ass. And one-tap him with a 5,000 damage backstab. Or higher than that, depending on the situation. You have to be very careful for stuff on the ground, and this build is countered heavily by Dragon Hunter traps. So you have to be very, very careful for that. So if you're playing against a bunch of Dragon Hunters, life's going to be kind of miserable. But you can go in, bait the trap, dodge out of it, or steal dodge immediately, and pop the trap. I don't believe you get revealed off that sort of stuff. But yeah, you just have to be very careful with where you're walking as well, because Necro Fear sigils as well are annoying. They don't break your stealth though, so that's very good, good for us. But yeah. So the reason I'm running these is because you can stack a bunch of stealth on the fly, and you can stack stealth around a corner too with Shadow Refuge. Like you can stand at the corner here, and then you can step out. Now, if you step out before it's got before the stealth is longer, you'll get revealed, so you do need to be careful about that. But if you stack your stealth and heal up in here, then you can move out and go look for a pick. Or if you stack this, and I believe if you use an ability over top, like a Blinding Powder, then the other time of the stealth is going to stay and you aren't going to get revealed. But you have to be careful about that. You can also use Shadow Refuge to revive teammates. This is the primary use for it, because you can use Shadow Step to cover a lot of distance, and you want to +1 fights a lot. So what you want to do is get into combat with someone. If you can't kill them, or if they kill your teammate, then you can Shadow Refuge and res them, which is exceptional. It does pulsing healing, so it's going to heal them while you're resing. You can do things like Basilisk Venom, stun the guy, Shadow Refuge, and then res. Like, it's not exactly the greatest combo, but it works. So that's why I've been running that. Also, the bit of added healing is very nice for staying power. Don't use this on a point, though, because it will stealth your entire team, and if you're in stealth, you can't capture a point, so you're basically trolling at that point. So don't put this on mid. Don't do that. I mean, I've done it before. If there's a fight going on and people need a bunch of healing, it does help sometimes, but it might fuck you over for a decap. Otherwise, Blinding Powder will break stuns and give you a 4-second invis. Also is going to blind people and gives you a little bit of stability. Not enough stability for it to really matter, but it just means you can't get re-stunned after you use it. So you can Blinding Powder, Shadow Step away if you need to. You can Blinding Powder, switch to your short bow, and then Infiltrator's Arrow away. Or generally what I've found is both uses of Shadow Step also break stun. So you can do this, and then say you take another stun or something, you can just port back. So you got to make sure you reuse the teleport back and the bounce back, because there's so many mind games you can play with just the Shadow Step teleport. Like, I have fucked with so many people, and it's amazing. You can Shadow Step in, you can get Cloak and Dagger, you can get stealth off it, you can port back, you can backstab the guy right here. Like, there's so much you can do. And I don't know if I showed it to you in this video. I do show it in the gameplay section. But when you're using Heartseeker to do your kill combos, right? Remember how I said they can potentially dodge the second Heartseeker? If they use it with like a movement teleport or something, you can do something like this. And if you hit them at just the right angle, I fucked up there. But if you do it fast enough, you can make the Heartseeker connect. Now, obviously, you don't want a Heartseeker steal, because if you do that, then you're going to get instantly revealed. Because it's like coming out of stealth with an attack. But you get stealth as you steal, and then you come out with the Heartseeker. So you don't really want to do that, but it does work in a pinch if you need to. So, yeah. As you can see, the whole kill combo has the crit bonus. And it's just exceptional. I've been really digging it. Having a whole lot of fun with it. And I hope to see you guys on the gameplay section. I don't think there's really much else for me to cover. I think I covered pretty much all of it. Let me just have a look through, see if there's anything. Hide in Shadows removes all your conditions as well, so that's where your Condi removal is from. If you're playing against big Condi bomb metas, honestly, you're probably just fucked. I haven't really found many good ways to remove conditions on Thief, to be honest with you. But Hide in Shadows is my go-to if I've got a bunch of burn or confusion or something. Just make sure you're checking down here all the time. Also, start getting in the habit of checking down here for the revealed timer as well. Yes, you can see the icon over your character's head, but when there's so much shit going on in a PvP match, you are kinda gonna struggle to do that. So I'll show you one more trick with Thief. This is an age-old trick, but I feel I might as well show it to you. Let me find someone I can one-shot very quickly. Elementalist is not going to work for it. Let's go with Necromancer. Of course, he's got a tanky build going. You'll love to see it. Right, so. Well, I mean, he feared me immediately, but you know how people have the downstate ability, right? You can start your Stomp, teleport away with Shadow Step, and then teleport back. And that is basically guaranteed, provided they don't use their ability. Because most people are going to hold their downstate, like, Interrupter, the Fear from Necros, or the, like, Knockback from Guardians, or that sort of stuff. The Hammer Knockdown from Warrior. They're going to hold those until, like, the last little animation of the Stomp. And then they'll knock you out of it there to give their team as much time as possible to kill you or that sort of stuff. So you can get around that, provided you have your Shadow Step. Also, if you're playing against Mesmer or Thief, you can Shadow Step. If you've started the Stomp animation and then they go invisible, you can Shadow Step to them, and it'll still finish the Stomp. Or I think you can steal to them as well, but don't quote me on that one. But yeah, that is pretty much everything for the build. It is a nice and simple core Thief setup. It is, I'd say, a medium difficulty to play, provided you're able to play a relatively fast style. If you're more of a slower, methodical player, then this is definitely not going to be a build for you. But if you enjoy the sort of map roaming, one-shotting playstyle like I do, I have been having a lot of fun, and I think you guys will enjoy it too. So this reminds me of the old days of playing a rogue on WoW private servers and just going around one-tapping people. You literally open with Cheap Shot into your fucking basic combo generators, into Eviscerate, and then Eviscerate, and they die. Well, I mean, it's basically like, what is it? Cheap Shot, Mutilate, 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 Eviscerate, Cold Blood, Eviscerate, and then they die. So, you know, it brings back some nice memories for World of Warcraft turned to shit. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and as always, take care, gentlemen. I shall see you in the next one. Make sure to watch the gameplay video to see how this build plays in actual gameplay. Take care.